Welcome to Guns, Gear, and Guns with Gary Gunderson. I am Gary Gunderson, and today we are talking about spam cans. Russian ones in particular. I don't know how often I've seen posts of spam cans where someone is asking, what caliber is this? What other details do you know? Etc. So I thought I'd do a quick rundown and identify the major markings in this video. The confusion in caliber is easily understandable since most of them are abbreviated in large font 7.62, which isn't very helpful when it comes to Soviet bloc weaponry. Is it 7.62 by 54R for a Mosin, by 39 for an AK-47, or by 25 for a Tokarev? Now, if you don't want to remember everything or learn Russian, the simplest way is to look at the round count on the spam cans, and you can at least determine the caliber at a simple glance. The round count is generally pretty easy to figure out since it's usually in the same middle location on the bottom of the label with a Cyrillic abbreviation that looks like a WT. Also, it's probably going to be the largest number on the label if that helps, not size-wise, but in counting. Thankfully, the round count is pretty uniform. If it's 440 rounds, it's 7.62 by 54R. If it's 640 to 700 rounds, it's 7.62 by 39. And if it's 1,224 rounds, it's Tokarev ammo. This ammo count generally holds true for spam cans from other nations, like the silver Tokarev can, but there certainly can be some variance. Even if you can't remember the round count off the top of your head, just think of the increasing count matching the decreasing size of the bullet, and you should be able to figure it out pretty easily. Of course, there are other calibers in spam cans, but I think 5.45 is pretty easy to identify as 5.45 by 39 for AK-74s, but that comes in 1,080 round cans if you're curious. And if it's 7.92, then it's 8mm Mauser ammo, which I have seen range anywhere from 340 to 400 rounds in a spam can. Going into more detail on the markings and using this partially open spam can as an example, following the 7.62 is the bullet type and the case type. There are a lot of bullet types out there, but this is the most common, and it means that it is a light ball bullet with a mild steel core. Each letter generally stands for one thing. In this case, the first letter that's part of a right triangle is the Cyrillic L, which is lightweight. The big lowercase n is actually a tricky one and by itself would be ranging or spotting ammo, but generally means ball when used together with other letters. And the C here means there is a mild steel core. To go over some of the other letters you may encounter, if it's a lowercase b with a bent top, it's armor piercing. A 3 is incendiary. A T is tracer. A big wobbly A like this one here means that it is a long-range heavy bullet with a lead core. So if you have a BT, for example, then it means that's an armor-piercing tracer. There's other combinations and a few more possible markings, but that's the gist for bullet type, and you can figure out a lot of variations just by knowing those few letters showing up in different combinations. Case type here is bimetallic case. The first letter of this, the abbreviated R looking thing, is always the same, so pay attention to this second letter here. So this is obviously bimetallic case. If it's a C, it's steel cased. And if it's the L we saw earlier, it's brass. Going down to the next line, the letter and 2 numbers to start it out is the lot and series number, followed by the year of manufacture, so 1975 here, and then a factory code. Keep in mind that there is some variations in markings, and not all will have the factory code listed. This one was made in Novosibirsk, but there are a variety of Russian factories. You can also get spam cans from other countries, so if you're familiar with the Bulgarian Circle 10 for their factory code, or Circle 11 for Poland, they can show up in this spot as well. The next marking here is the bullet tip color code, which I've only ever seen on 7.62 by 54R ammo and is not always present. Following that is the powder type. The fraction here has a powder lot number on the top and the year of powder manufacture on the bottom. Typically, the powder manufacture year and cartridge manufacture year are the same, but I imagine that one could come out with a 1 year difference between the two somewhere. But in general, if you want to know the year of manufacture of the ammo in a spam can, look for the number showing up twice, and that's probably your year. And the final letter here is the powder source. Spam cans typically come in these large wooden crates. As you can see, the 7.92 means this was for 8mm Mauser ammo. And though some of the markings have been obstructed, you still see the 75 as the powder lot number, so this was 1975. And the 760 means the total count for the case. So 2 cans fit in here, and 760 divided by 2 is 380, which matches what we talked about before for 8mm Mauser ammo spam cans. Now, let's take what we've learned and look at the 545 can again. So 545, obviously. NC means ball with a mild steel core, which is the fabled 7.6 or so-called armor piercing, followed by RC, which means it is steel case. Then we have a lot series number, then the year of manufacture, 1982, at factory 270, which is in current day Luhansk. After 270, we have some powder lot information, and though I don't have a detailed breakdown on the exact meanings here, it's pretty similar to other 545 spam cans, and I haven't seen anywhere say it has any more additional information. Then we have the powder lot number, and again the year of manufacture matching, 1982, followed by the powder source. And this is kind of the bent B I was talking about before. Now, spam cans come in all varieties, some with helpful English and more modern manufacturing, and then you can run across something a bit different like this fella, which I believe to be Albanian. The markings here aren't too clear, but let's see if we can use what we've learned, boys and girls, or let's be honest, probably just boys, to figure this out. So you see 7.62 pretty clearly, not super helpful, and if you scan the rest, to me the 440 immediately sticks out, pointing to this being 7.62 by 54R. Also, the mod 53 makes me think of the model or type 53, the Chinese copy of the M44 Mosin, as Albania received a lot of Chinese aid, as you can tell from the SKSs coming to the country now that are coming via Albania. This would make some sense and also points to 7.62 by 54R. Generally, I think this is a lot of the same information, just laid out slightly differently. I mean, we have an 85 and an 87 over in a fraction here. So I think it means this was manufactured in either 85 or 87, probably 87 since that is the later year. But other than that, I don't know exactly what's going on. I think the cope is supposed to be stand for count, like the WT. There was a Made in Russia sticker on this thing, which is funny because it wasn't. But there you have it, a quick and dirty guide to help you with spam can identification without opening it up ahead of time. Like I said, this won't cover everything, and there are a lot of other varieties that you may encounter, particularly the kind that have like a piece of metal embedded around that you pull open, basically with a big pull tab. And though they are marked differently, you can still get a lot of the same information with what you have learned here. But hopefully this information can help you and at least figure out the basics whenever you encounter one of these. Let me know if you have some spam cans with odd markings we didn't cover here, or if you know of any other tips and tricks about the spam cans, leave them in the comments down below. Please like the video and share it with others to help the channel grow. I hope you learned something helpful today, and thanks for watching.